Welcome to the Owens Corning Residential Wall Bats Installation Module. In this tape, we'll show you many helpful tips and techniques to install wall bats right the first time and every time. But before we leap into installation techniques, let's be sure you're familiar with the different types of insulation available for residential walls. For starters, there's craft-faced insulation and unfaced insulation. The craft-faced products feature a craft paper facing that serves as a vapor retarder. The unfaced insulation, of course, is just that, insulation without any facing. Another thing to remember is that craft facings are flammable and should never be left exposed. In fact, it is important that the facing be in intimate contact with the wallboard that will cover it. This means that the craft facing should not be pushed back into the cavity. It should completely fill out the cavity and be flush with the studs. Craft facing should not be used around heat sources. For those applications where insulation might be exposed to heat sources such as can lights, heating ducts, and fireplaces, always use unfaced pink fiberglass bats. Before you leave for the job site, check your work order or talk to your supervisor to be certain that you have the right materials and the right amount of insulation for the job. Our packaging helps make this task easy. Each bag of insulation is marked with useful information. This includes the R value and facing type and is color-coded for easy identification. Also included are the numbers of pieces in each bag and the dimensions of the product. This includes the thickness, width, and length of each piece and the total number of square feet in the bag. Much of this same information is also shown on the label, which is found on the end of each unitized sleeve. For convenient storage and handling, the bundles are compressed in units that include 4 or 5 bundles of bats. Whenever you are loading, unloading, or moving any of these bats, remember that even though individual bats are very light, the units can be fairly heavy, so cartwheel one unit at a time instead of trying to carry them. This is the easiest way to move the units through the house. You will want to break the units down into individual packages before taking them upstairs. This is easier on the back and much safer. And always practice good lifting techniques. Remember to lift with your legs, keeping your back straight. Now that you have safely transported the right insulation to your job site, you're ready for the installation process. First, let's review the tools you'll need, starting with the right way to dress. Wear a loose-fitting long-sleeve shirt and long pants. You will also need to wear OSHA-proof safety glasses, gloves, and a disposable dust respirator like this one. We also recommend a hard hat, especially when working in attics where space may be cramped and nails may be exposed overhead. You may even want to consider wearing steel-toed safety boots. After all, you are on a construction site. The tools required for installation are very simple. You'll need a good sharp utility knife, a straight edge for cutting, a tape measure, a staple hammer with plenty of staples, a screwdriver or putty knife for filling small gaps with insulation scraps, and some caulk or foam sealant. You will also want a roll or two of waterproof tape, such as Build-R tape, for repairing any tears or cuts in the craft facing. And when you're insulating high walls, you will need a sturdy ladder or reliable scaffolding. After you have all the equipment you need, you're ready to prepare the job site. One of the first things you should look for are approval stickers or stamps for electrical, structural, and plumbing inspections. You can't begin your insulation job if these inspections are incomplete. Next, seal any cracks, seams, or holes in the floor, ceilings, or wall where air may leak through. Remember, any place where an air leak can take place is a place where energy dollars can escape. You will want to caulk all top and bottom plates, around doors and windows, and seal areas like electrical wire penetrations and behind electrical boxes on exterior walls. Now, you're finally ready to install bats of pink fiberglass insulation. As you open the bundles of bat packages, it's a good idea to put the individual packages around the room where you will be installing them. That way you'll cut back on walking back and forth for bats while you're doing the installation. There's a right way to open the packages of bats too. Turn the package on its side. and slit the package lengthwise with a utility knife. This is especially important with craft face bats to avoid damaging the facing. You probably noticed another important fact. When you slit the packages, the bats are going to expand. That's because OC bats are compression packed. So open the packages in areas where you have plenty of space. Avoid opening packages in confined or cramped areas.